In this video, I'm looking at 3 pieces of free music making software that you should check out if you're thinking of getting into music production or maybe starting a bit of a home studio. There are a lot of free DAWs or digital audio workstations out there, but which ones aren't limited? I'm Zane, welcome to Simple Green Tech, where I do weekly audio tech tips, tutorials, and reviews to help you conquer the tech and unleash your creativity. Now, the criteria that I set for these 3 programs is they had to be unlimited and allow you to record audio and MIDI. Links for all 3 of the free music making software programs are down in the description, along with time codes for each one. And I also have a couple of honorable mentions that I'll have near the end of this video, so be sure to stick around for that. Now, first up on the free music making software list is Cakewalk by Bandlab. This one used to be a premium paid-for program that was called Sonar Platinum. It went through some ownership changes and now it's being offered free from Bandlab. Some of the key features about Cakewalk are you can have unlimited tracks, both audio and MIDI, plus auxiliary tracks. It comes with a decent selection of effects plugins, including TH3, which is a great sounding guitar amp simulator. It also comes with some decent instruments like a drum kit, bass guitar, piano, and strings. You also get this channel strip over here, which has some great saturation effects for your vocals and your instruments. And if all of those built-in plugins aren't enough for you, you can also bring in your own third-party VST plugins, which you can get for free or pay for premium options. The piano roll is easy to access and use, plus there's a step sequencer that you can use to build your beats with. There's also a convenient mixer view so you can adjust the levels of your tracks and access the effects easily. Making music in Cakewalk by Bandlab is pretty easy once you get over the learning curve, which isn't too steep. I have a tutorial that goes through all of the basics of getting started with Cakewalk. Check the description for that. But right now, I'll quickly show you how easy it is to load an instrument plugin up and start making music, even if you don't have a MIDI controller. Alright, so I have a clean project open here, and what I want to do is bring in an instrument. So you go over to this section here, you click on plugins if you're not clicked on it already. And then you want to click on this icon right here, and you can see all of your instrument categories. So I want to bring in a drum instrument, and this is the one that comes with Cakewalk. So you just click, drag it over to this area, let go, and it's created a new track, and you can expand it by clicking there. And then if you click on this icon right here, it brings up our drum instrument. So what I'm going to do is use the step sequencer here. So right click, go to View, Step Sequencer. And you can increase the size of this. And here's our step sequencer. And the first thing I want to do is increase the number of beats. So I want it to be 8. Just click there. We're now at 8 beats. And we can easily draw in our beat here. So I kind of know where the different drums are. The bass drum's usually here, and then you're going to have your snare there. So I'm just going to start just by click. There's bass drum, snare. And then up here, we're going to have our hi-hats. All right, let's listen to how this sounds. Not too bad for just quickly throwing something together there. And that's how easy it is to start creating beats in Cakewalk. Now let's look at bringing in a bass instrument, and we'll use the piano roll for that. So I'm just going to click on bass here, and this is the bass instrument that comes with Cakewalk. So click, drag it over here, expand this. If you want to see the bass instrument, there it is. And then this time I'm going to right click, View, Piano Roll. And here's our piano roll where we can draw in some notes. So I'm just going to quickly draw in some notes here. Let's listen to how this sounds now. All right, doesn't sound too good, but that's just to show you how easy it is to start drawing in some notes. Now let's open up the TH3 guitar amp sim and test out some of the presets so you can see how easy it is to record audio into it, and you can also hear how great the TH3 guitar amp sim is. We'll start off with a clean tone, hear what that sounds like. All right, let's go to the crunch sound. Okay, let's see what else we have here. And now if we wanted to record this, we already have it armed for recording. We're ready to go. All right, so we have the record button here clicked, and then we just want to click on this button here, and it's going to start the recording. And now there's our recorded track, and we can just play that back if we wanted. And the cool thing about recording with a guitar amp sim is if we don't like that tone, we can just change it because we didn't record the tone. We recorded the raw guitar. Cakewalk by Bandlab is a great option for bands, solo artists, beat makers, and anyone wanting to make music really. It's extremely versatile, and of course the price is right. Cakewalk is a 64-bit program, and it's available on Windows only. The next free music making software program that I'll look at is Tracktion Waveform Free. I personally use Tracktion Waveform Pro as my main DAW, and the free version is pretty much the same thing, so don't think that this is a crippled version of Waveform Pro. Some of the key features of Waveform Free are you can have unlimited tracks including audio and MIDI plus auxiliary tracks. It comes with some decent effects plugins, but you'll likely want to add more, which you can. It includes the 4OSC synth that can produce some great sounds, and you also get the micro drum sampler that has a couple of kits included, and they sound great for beat making. Like I said earlier, you can add third-party VST plugins very easily. The piano roll is easy to access and use, plus, like Cakewalk, there's a step sequencer. There's also a convenient mixer view so you can adjust the levels of your tracks and access the effects easily. The user interface is very intuitive and it allows you to focus on making music, which is what I love about Tracktion Waveform. Now let me show you how easy it is to load up the micro drum sampler and make a quick beat without a MIDI controller. Of course, if you have a MIDI controller, you can use that too. Okay, so I have a new empty project here. Now, if you were to load a project, it might look something like this with these sidebars. I turn those off by clicking on the eye here, and then the sidebar's gone. Now, what we want to do is bring in the micro drum sampler. So just right click over here, create a new track, and then right click in this area of that track, add new plugin, go to Waveform Plugins, Instruments, Micro Drum Sampler. And this comes with Tracktion Waveform Free. Then if you click in this area here, you can see we have two kits. So I'm just going to bring open the Micro 808 kit, and we'll listen to that. Pretty basic 808 kit. Now what we want to do is click this red cross here, bring it down, let go, and then for this I'm going to insert a step clip just to show you the step sequencer. But we could also insert a MIDI clip, which I'll show you when we get to the 4OSC. So here is our step clip, and it even shows you the name of the drums over here. So let's just add those in by clicking. And this is just a very basic drum beat here. Now let's listen to how this sounds. Like I said, very basic drum beat, but this just shows you how easy it is to use the step sequencer in Tracktion Waveform. Now let's bring in the 4OSC so you can hear what that sounds like. And then you click in this area and you have all of these presets here to start with. So let's just take our basic bass here. We'll click the plus sign, drag it, drop it down here, insert new MIDI clip. Then you double click on the MIDI clip, and that brings open the piano roll here. All right, let's just draw in a basic beat here. And let's hear what it sounds like with our drum beat. All right, not that good, but here's a cool thing you can do in Tracktion Waveform. So let's close down this piano roll, click on the MIDI clip, and if you go over here to Pattern Generator, then click on Pattern Style, go to Baseline, you can see it cleared out everything I had in there. Now we can go down to Bass Preset, and we have all of these different baseline presets down here. So let's click on EDM2, and you can see it's created some information in there for us. Let's hear how it sounds. And that's working with MIDI without a MIDI controller in Tracktion Waveform. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how easy it is to record audio into Tracktion Waveform. So again, we'll go over here, right click, create a new track. And now I'm just going to select the input, which is input 2, arm it for recording. And if live input monitoring wasn't selected, I would click it to selected, and you can hear my guitar now. So let's add a guitar amp sim, and Waveform doesn't come with one, so you have to add a third-party one, but there's lots of free ones out there. I'll link to my video with a bunch of them in there. And for this demo, I'm going to right-click, add new plugin, and I'm just going to use this Black Rooster Audio Cypress TT15, which is a free amp simulator. Now let's just hear how it sounds quick. All right, the tone's actually not bad just with this default setting here. So I'm going to leave it at that and we'll record it. So you might want to click on the click track so you can have that metronome sound. I'm going to leave it off for this because I don't really have anything planned to record. And I'm just going to hit the record button and we should hear a count in. And now you can see we have our audio track here, and like before, we can change all the settings with it, and we can even change the amp sim if we want. This free DAW is great for bands, musicians, beat makers, and anyone into making music. Waveform is a 64-bit program, and it's available on Mac, Windows, Linux, and even Raspberry Pi. Now, before I get into the third free music making software on the list, I just want to ask if you're enjoying this video and getting some value out of it so far. Can you please give it a thumbs up? It really helps my channel out and I appreciate it so much. Now, the third free DAW on the list is Soundbridge. Now, I first want to say that I'm not as familiar with this one as I am with the other two, as I'm just starting to dig into it and really get familiar with it. But I can tell you this, it's very easy to use and it's not limited in any way. The goal of Soundbridge is to offer music creators a free program that's powerful and very easy to use. Some of the key features are, you can have unlimited audio, MIDI, and auxiliary tracks. A nice selection of effects are included, plus a channel strip with presets. You get the Rhythmix drum machine plugin, which is one of the best free drum machine plugins available. The piano roll is easy to access and simple to use, and there's also a mixer that allows you to easily adjust levels and more. Like the other programs on the list, Soundbridge makes it easy to start making music whether you're a band, solo artist, beat maker, or whatever. So let's look at recording audio into Soundbridge. Okay, so I have a brand new project open in Soundbridge, and what I'm going to do is click on this plus sign here to add a new track. I'll give it a name, and we now have an audio track. But what I need to do is set the input. So I click here where it says none, go to external, 1, 2, Mine is 2. And then if I click this, I can monitor what's inputting. So you can hear my guitar now. Now we want to add a guitar amp sim just like we have with the other ones. So go down here to this icon, click on it, and then you have your plugins over here. And you can see I was searching for some here, but you could look through all of your plugins. If you have a lot like me, it's easier to just search. And I'm going to use the free Guitar Rig 5 player for this. Now I just double click on that and it's added it over there, and I can close that down now. So show plugin, here we are. And now I'm just going to bring up a preset in here. All right, there we go. We got our preset. Let's hear how that sounds. Not too bad. Maybe I'll try this alternative crunch. There we go. That's something a little different. And let's record this now. So we're already armed for recording. Everything's ready to go. All we have to do is go down here, click on record, and we're recording. And there you go. We now have our audio clip. All right, so now we're going to load the Ritmix drum machine, and this will be the same for loading any instrument really. So we click again on this icon here, and then we want VST3 because that's what the Ritmix is. I'm going to type in Ritmix, and you can see it comes up there. Then just double click on that. It creates the track for us. I'm just going to close that sidebar down. And then if we click on the track, we can see it over here. Go to show plugin, and here is our Ritmix drum machine plugin. So we can click on kits here. You can see all of the different kits that it comes with. So I'm just going to choose this House Hit kit. And let's listen to what that sounds like. Okay, let's try another kit. We'll go with Stadium Rock. So you can see we have our pads here that you can click on. But another cool feature of the Ritmix drum machine is the sequencer. So you can actually sequence your drums in here. So we could click on kick, and you can see it's already sequenced in here. And that's what we were listening to, was that sequence. But I can add in more if I wanted to. And then I would go to snare, and I could add in more snares. And let's just fill this up with hi-hats. Now let's listen to what this sounds like. And there you go. Soundbridge is available as a 64-bit or 32-bit option, so if you need a 32-bit program, this one is definitely the way to go. Soundbridge is available on Mac and Windows. Now, before I get into the couple of honorable mentions, I want to say that, as you can see, these 3 programs that I've already mentioned are very similar in capabilities and features. What it really comes down to for you is the workflow and the user interface of each one. I recommend downloading 2 or trying all 3 of the programs and seeing which one works best for your style. Don't listen to the guys who say, well, this DAW is best or that DAW is best. Figure out which one is best for you. And once you do figure that out, master that program. Get over that learning curve. It is going to take a little bit to get over that learning curve, but they're not very hard to figure out. So once you get over that learning curve, master the program, get it all figured out, and you're going to be making great music with whatever program you decide to go with. Just master it and don't give up. Now, here are the honorable mentions. And first up is the Reaper DAW. This one isn't free, but you can download the demo that isn't restricted at all, and you can use it for free for 60 days. Now, after the 60 days are over, you can continue to use Reaper without any limitations. It just has a 5-second pop-up window that comes up every time you open the program, reminding you to purchase a license. If you do end up using Reaper and you enjoy it, be sure to purchase a license, as it helps to support the continued efforts that they put into this great DAW. The next honorable mention is Pro Tools First. Now this one is totally free, but it is limited, which is why it didn't make my main list. Now the reason why I'm including it here is because if you're thinking of taking music production more seriously and wanting to maybe work in a pro studio one day, you should learn on Pro Tools, as you're likely going to encounter it in a lot of studios. Now the main limitations of Pro Tools first are that you can only have 16 tracks, which really isn't that bad, and you can't bring in your own third-party plugins. However, it does include some great effects and a decent instrument, but if you want to add any other instruments or effects, you must purchase it through the Avid Marketplace. Now, if you want to check out some of the best free VST plugins available, click up here, or click down here to see what YouTube thinks you should watch next. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. For Simple Green Tech, I'm Zane. Keep creating, and we'll talk soon.